Well, as you know, there is a growing debate across the country over vaccine passports showing proof that you've actually had your COVID shot. Some businesses, cruise lines, even some universities are considering making them mandatory, but opposition is building over privacy and some other concerns. So joining us to talk more about it is liability attorney Jamie Wright. Jamie, thank you so much for joining us. And I kind of want to talk about what is a vaccine passport, because I've heard people say, well, is that little card they give me? And anybody could forge that. But that is not exactly what a vaccine passport is. It's a little more complicated than that.
That's accurate. I mean, a vaccine passport is really just vaccine proof, right? The concept is there's going to be app development or digital development for you to be able to hold up your phone, just like you do your boarding pass, and say, look, I have gotten a vaccine and I'm able to enter this facility. I'm able to travel. I'm able to go to a concert, etc.
So we've heard the White House say that they are against the idea of a vaccine passport. Texas, they've said no way. But here in California, there actually has been some talk about possibly doing it. So from a legal standpoint, can each state kind of make up their own rules? And as individuals, what kind of protections do we have?
That's a great question. So I heard recently that Governor Newsom said he was not going to enforce it. However, that doesn't mean that on the county level, it cannot be enforced. One of the things that people should know is that there is Supreme Court precedence for this type of mandate for the states. And there was a case in 1905 that the Supreme Court issued a decision on relating to smallpox, saying that if the states don't mandate these vaccinations, that they can be fined. So as an individual, if you're looking at this, one of the things you have to consider is whether or not you have a disability that may negate the mandate for you to produce a vaccine proof if you're going to fly or go to an open door event. The other thing that we also have to consider is how this is going to impact poor communities and Black and brown communities who are oftentimes impacted the most by lack of access to vaccines and or digital divides where they cannot access an app that allows for them to produce proof.
So that makes me wonder, what are some of the pros and cons of having a vaccine passport?
Well, the pro is if you are at a school, if you work for a state government, if you're going to go to a large concert venue and they're mandating that you have your phone, you have the app, you can prove it. If you're going to go back to work, and some private employers are also going to require that. One of the cons is, with anything digital, there's always access to hackers. And so is that data going to be hack-proof? Is it going to be protected such that HIPAA doesn't become a problem? Now, generally speaking, if you voluntarily reveal your medical information, there is no HIPAA protection because you have chosen to give it to someone. However, if a hacker gets a hold of that and there's a breach, what is going to be the liability for that app company, and how does that impact you? Also, from an identity standpoint, will law enforcement have access to this information via the app?
Boy, a lot of unanswered questions. Jamie, thank you so much for giving us valuable insight on this. And I have a feeling this is not the end of this conversation, so we'll be checking back with you again soon.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jamie.